Pet owners of Reddit, what are some funny or cute tendencies your pet has? My fish likes to suck in air, swim down a bit, blow some bubbles and watch them float back up. My fish at work go wild whenever the class sits down to eat and won't calm down until you feed them. They like eating with everyone. My bird used to do that too. I had a fish who was missing a fin and had trouble swimming, so he would use the bubbles from the filter to help him swim. Unfortunately, he didn't live long because he had to share the tank with a small koi, a lionhead goldfish, 2 black fancy goldfish, 2 shrimp, a few snails, and a tetra. My fish love to float upside down and pretend to be dead. The moment I touch them they go back to normal and start doing regular fishy things like swimming and just following me. They have been doing this for years. I thought they had some disease, but no, they are weird. Koi fishes are weird, man. They love hiding a lot. If my cat is sitting somewhere facing away from you and you hover your face over his head, he'll look up, close his eyes and boop your nose with his. Mine will smell my face. But to fair, she sniffs everything. I have to present my hands when I come home for inspection. When it's laundry time, our cat hops into the laundry basket to ride in it from the closet to the washer. Then he sits on top of the dryer, and helps load the washer by using his paws to push items inside it, one by one. Later, when the dryer is running, he naps on top of it, enjoying the warmth rising up. When I get home from work my cat jumps on whatever is closest to me and at face level. Then I say, kisses, and lean down and she boops her nose against my lips and purrs. Whenever my dog finds something he doesn't understand, he runs to me, sits down in front of me and starts mumbling. He sort of moofs and growls at the same time with his mouth closed with a very serious expression on his face. Then, he wants me to follow him to look at the thing he found. He just really wants to share his discovery with me, I think. Is he a German Shepherd? GSDs are very sensitive to things being out of place or when things don't go according to a typical habit or schedule. He's probably grumping at you that something's amiss. Whenever I cry, my cat likes to plop himself across my neck and purr. It's really comforting, and sometimes I cry into his fur and he gets damp. My cat used to sit on my neck and purr me to sleep. I get terrible nightmares regularly, so sometimes I'd wake up crying and he would just purr and knead at me with his paws until I fell asleep again. One of my cats will rush at the opportunity to lock one of the other 2 into the hall bathroom, because the door opens outward. He waits and watches. The minute one of the others is completely in the bathroom, rushes the door, slams it closed, and then plops in front of it like I'm not going to notice that he just trapped one of his brothers. I don't know how he learned this, or why he does it, but it's hilarious nonetheless. One of ours does this to his brother too. Cupboards mostly, because there are no pesky handles to stop him from opening them. Sometimes my cat wants company, but just a little bit of company. So she'll sit near me. Not on me, but her whiskers will be just lightly brushing my feet or something. Sometimes I don't realize what she's doing and I just instinctively move that body part away from the tickle. Then she quietly moves closer until her whiskers are just grazing me again. But if I go to pat her whilst she's in this mood, she'll get in a huff and walk away. I think this description sort of embodies me. If I were a cat, I do the same sort of thing to my sister. I'll want company, but not a lot of company, sitting my room with me but don't talk to me sort of thing. Usually she just sits on her phone and shows me funny pictures every now and then, and it's nice. Whenever I turn on the shower my cat comes running. He sits on the window ledge and licks the water coming from the shower head while you're trying to shower. He also licks your face while you're sleeping. He's a weirdo. He probably thinks stagnant water is unsafe, which is true in the wild. He would probably love a water fountain to drink from. If you have an extra $30, I would seriously consider it. We got Rolo a few months back. He's a German Shepherd / Great Pyrenees mix. He's a monster of a dog and he's not even a year old yet. He thinks he's a cat. He's a cuddle bug. He's so soft and lovable, but he's massive. Because we can't handle him in our laps, he'll lay at our feet, but it takes him 15 minutes to get comfortable because he has to be touching everyone on the couch. Everyone. Everyone on the couch must get the cuddles. Otherwise it's just not fair. My dog likes these things we call butterfly kisses. She will come right up to your eyes and leave her nose in your face until you blink vigorously and kiss her snoot with your eyelashes. One of my cat will flop when you so much as look at her. Not a calm, lay down and then roll over motion, no, a full-on retract my legs and do a barrel roll move. She's fat too, so there's a bit of a thud hop. The other one will bring the feather toys to your bed while you're sleeping, so when you wake up you have little presents from her. We were really lucky we got the cats we did when we adopted. My cat does the flop too. If she is enjoying back scritches enough, she retracts her legs suddenly, and flops on you so you can rub her belly. She also likes roll on the basement floor like a dog rolling in something smelly. She never looks happier than when she is getting her fur all dusty in the basement. My dog starts to breathe heavily when she wants attention. She doesn't do it any other time. She also sneezes when she gets excited. Sometimes she'll sneeze so hard she'll hit her face on the floor and then look up at us like nothing happened. Whenever he rolls on his back his cute little canine teeth stick out of his mouth. Also when he lays on his back he starts wiggling on the ground and he always ends up sneezing. After he sneezes he rolls back onto his side and stands up and shakes like he's trying to get water off of himself and then flops dramatically onto his pillow he stole from underneath my head one day, that he keeps on the giant futon that we bought and turned into a giant dog bed for him. After he flops down onto his pillow he always lets out the longest, loudest, most ridiculously dramatic sigh as he possibly can. Also no matter what sort of local fauna I tell him about, he always licks his lips and makes lip-smacking sounds exactly like he does when he's about to get his dog food. He has head-butted at least 2 butterflies to death and pounced onto their tiny, dead bodies. He likes eating tree bark and he especially loves eating dirt. He likes to pretend he's sick, but if you offer him dairy when he acts like that, he's somehow miraculously cured. Whenever my neck is bent he comes over and moves my head so my neck is straight and then gives me a concerned look every time like he's worried that having my neck like that means that I can't breathe and that obviously him moving my neck straight has saved my life and he deserves a cookie for being a valiant hero. Once he was kicking up tree bark and there was a little frog under the bark, and he scared the frog so bad it jumped, except it jumped towards him instead of away from him so it ended up hopping into his mouth, so he swallows it whole. Sometimes after he gets done peeing he kicks up grass with his back feet like he's a cat in a litter box. After he poops, he shivers in disgust and tries to run away from it dramatically. He's jumped up onto the bay window in the living room several times and he paces up and down the length of the window every time he jumps up there. He loves sunbathing a lot and curls up in a strip of sunlight on the floor like a cat. Whenever it rains, he cries as pitifully as he can and just really dramatically stares off into the distance like the fact that it's raining is the most terrible thing to ever happen in the history of the planet. I told him about the sharks that live in our area and now if I talk about sharks he starts crying and refuses to go outside because I think he's afraid that there is a land shark in our front yard. He needs to be cuddled vigorously to recover from a shark mention now. Once he went ballistic while he was outside with my dad while he was barbecuing, because a toad got too close to dad and obviously the toad is a huge threat to his people and must be banished or killed. When birds congregate on the holly bush near our sunroom, he waits until there are at least 3 birds in the bush, and then gets as close as he can to the birds and then barks at the top of his lungs and ends up wiggling his butt happily as the birds fly away screaming. Once when we were walking around our yard, a bird flew like 6 inches away from his face, so he barks really loudly at it and the bird gets so scared that it poops while flying away screaming at the top of its lungs, and my dog starts wiggling his butt and prances around the yard because that was so amusing to him. He was so many funny and cute things he does that it's kinda hard to list them all, especially when I'm using the app and not the website. My previous rabbit would run over to my dad when he was on the couch and then nuzzle his feet. My dad then massaged the rabbit with his feet and by the time he finished, the rabbit would be asleep. My cat is like my 3rd child. He plays fetch, comes to check on me when I'm having a coughing fit or generally unwell, will wait around until I leave, grabs my arms to snuggle, sits on my shoulders, grunts when I disturb him and just has a total child-like mentality and it's the best. The way she gets so excited every time I show her her leash. The leash was always the sign of her getting out of the house and she loved every minute of it. Like every other dog, she also greets me every time I come home like I've just came back from a 10-year war. I would gladly give up all of my daily pleasures just to have her back. When I'm watching TV or playing a video game, my cat will jump up onto my chest, and give me a death stare while slowly kneading his paws on me. He then flops down on me and smashes his entire face into mine.